What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Critical Overlord here. We're going to be talking about Jeepers Creepers 5 in this video here today. So, over the past couple of videos I've uploaded related to Jeepers Creepers and Jeepers Creepers 5, it would have appeared that a fifth film was in active development because it came from the only source of information you can get updates on this franchise from at this point, which is the ongoing lawsuit and this pending trial that seemingly just keeps getting pushed back time and again. So that's where the Jeepers Creepers 5 in development news came from. What other reliable source would you have other than a lawsuit where two individuals or multiple individuals related to the production of the fourth film are at conflict with one another? That's as reliable as you can get. But now from this same source, we've had that debunked. So there is no Jeepers Creepers 5 in active development. One of the updates from a meeting that occurred this month says that responding party is unable to produce financial records as defined pertaining to a Jeepers Creepers motion picture in development because there were and are no Jeepers Creepers motion pictures presently in development. This contradicts Myriad's wrong assertion that defendant Jake Seal testified in deposition that Jeepers Creepers 5 was in active development. Seal testified exactly the opposite. No such rights to develop exist. No active development took place, and hence no funds were expended on developing Jeepers Creepers 5 nor any subsequent production. Indeed, Seal testified that the reboot of Jeepers Creepers Reborn created and developed extensive material and new ventures used in Reborn and set up for future use, but no specific story, screenplay, or active development took place. Now, the good news in all of that to me is that no such rights to develop this film exist for Jake Seal and whoever else was a part of the problem that was Jeepers Creepers 4 and Jeepers Creepers 3. Get them out of here. Show them the door. Boot them. Axe them. Get rid of them. Flush them down the damn toilet. The rest of this went on to talk about how Seal isn't even a U.S. citizen. He is a U.K. citizen, so he doesn't even go here, for all of my Mean Girls fans out there. But what a giant mess this has become. This series managed to Friday the 13th itself after getting rid of its prior problem, which we know was the creator. They still have dates for this trial readiness conference. It's like a new one happens every 6 months with no end in sight because this mess has a new layer uncovered left and right every other week. But the big takeaway is Jeepers Creepers 5 development has been debunked from the same source that proposed it to begin with. This lawsuit, again, is the only way to gain any knowledge on what's going on with the franchise at the moment, and I do my best to stay on top of it because I know there are so many of you still out there looking to any and all updates on Jeepers Creepers. I still believe whenever this is resolved, Michael Argo, head of Infinity Films, who was involved with the third and fourth film, or whoever owns the rights, will try to do a new movie. This is not the end of this franchise. It is the end of this franchise for now. I think that is a safe statement to make. The way that Jeepers Creepers 4, by me and a few of you, we really believe foolishly, naively, that there was no way Jeepers Creepers 4 could be worse than Jeepers Creepers 3. And it managed to surpass those expectations and just completely cement itself as one of the worst dog shit pieces of cinema ever produced. And not only that, it seemingly has put this franchise at a standstill for who knows how long. I don't know how big of a mess this actually has gotten because they have to go through these financial records they're requesting to have from Chicken Soup for the Soul Entertainment, who was overseeing Screen Media. And if you're familiar with that company, you know they've gone bankrupt. It's just a complete mess. It's a complete mess. So this is no longer an issue with the creator. It's now an issue of who they gave the rights to. The rights holders are being irresponsible with this IP. From the outside looking in, that's what it looks like. It looks like you just being completely irresponsible. And this narrative that you need a big budget to produce a quality Jeepers Creepers film, I again cannot stand by that. I can never stand by that. There are movies being produced for less than what Jeepers Creepers 3 and 4 cost, and they look stupendous. They're well acted, they're well written, they leave a mark on you after you're done watching and while watching. So it's just you have a group of people doing foolish things with money. Just foolishly using the money. You know, we don't need to see the Creeper's wings. We don't need to see it. If it's not going to be practical, get rid of it. We don't need to have sound bites of him screaming plugged in from the first film. If you're going to do that, don't have any shots of him screaming. We don't need any bad actors. Just seek out quality talent. Yeah, I get it might be a struggle because of what this franchise is connected with. But if you put in effort I believe something competent can at least be produced. Something at least watchable. Something you can at least turn on and say, you know what? That was not the cure for insomnia. That's all. That's all many people are looking for. And I believe all you have to do is try. Just try. If you're able to produce trash twice, I believe you can produce something watchable at least once. At least once. Now, I get that there's still this sentiment that they just need to do the Trisha story. I will draw attention to this, just like I have been in some of my recent videos. That story, I don't think deserves to be told after the 2 train wrecks they have created. They do not need to jump right back into this with a Trisha story. No. At first, they need to prove themselves that everything has been taken care of, all the cancers have been washed away, and we are back to trying to make competent or at least watchable entries into the franchise. Do not give me another lackluster entry and this is now the Cathedral story come to life. This is the story that many of you have been dying to see since Jeepers Creepers 2 dropped, and it's also part of the series of latest train wrecks. No, do not do that. At least if you build up to it, we don't have to worry about the Cathedral story being a part of those train wrecks. Don't do it. Do not jump back into this with a Trisha narrative. As much as I would love to see Gina Phillips back, I think that's the wrong way to go. It's been so long. People don't even know who she is really because she's not a big talent. Just reintroduce the character with Jonathan Breck if he's up for it. It doesn't even have to be Jonathan Breck. I don't want to even get in that notion that it has to be Jonathan Breck. Jonathan Breck might be the best portrayal of the monster, sure, but it doesn't have to be Jonathan Breck. And the biggest issue going out of Reborn was the makeup. The makeup looked like crap. It didn't even look like the monster. If you can give us somebody with a similar stature, same makeup, if not very reminiscent of those first 3 films, yeah, maybe we'll notice it's not Jonathan Breck, but you know what we will also be able to live with? We'll be able to live with that it's not Jonathan Breck because it at least looks like the monster. The makeup is what I think is most important in terms of the overall presentation. The mannerisms and all of these other things, that can be updated for modern audiences. Some stuff can be eliminated because that was just Jonathan's take on the character over 20 years ago. As much as I would love to see Jonathan Breck back, he's getting up in age. Yes, they can have stunt doubles come in, obviously, for the stunts. But I don't think Jonathan Breck is really the biggest issue here. The biggest issue is just not giving a damn about the quality you're putting out. You need to give a damn about the quality. Once you have that in mind, everything else should fall in place. We don't need Jonathan Breck. We don't need Gina Phillips. We don't need the creator back. That is the biggest one we don't need back, and I don't know why so many of you are pushing for that. We do not need him back. He needs to stay gone. It's unfortunate that he's the one who made this to begin with. That's unfortunate. We don't need him back most of all. Get that out of your head. What we need is competence. We need a competent creative team, a competent group of people who want to come together and produce something that, while cheap, still appeals to your senses as a horror fan, doesn't insult you while you're watching, and you can at least turn around and say, hey, you know what? That was a decent entry finally after over 20 years. Something that reintroduces the character. It's set 23 years after the first 2 films. You can have some narrative, some dialogue dump explaining how he got out of the Taggart barn. Make it be clear that it is set after 2. The Taggarts are dead. Introduce a new group of teens, whatever it must be. Set up a whole new story to tell for modern audiences. Not that this would be a big theater smash hit, because it probably won't be that. It's probably going to end up going direct to video just like the last 2. But we'll end up seeing what comes of this, because I don't believe we've seen the end of this monster. I believe a Jeepers Creepers 5 will happen in the foreseeable future, just don't know when. But let me know what you guys think about this down in the comment section below. If you haven't already, of course, make sure you subscribe, turn on post notifications, and never miss a video. In the description, I'll have links to all my social media accounts. I am on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can message me there to let me know if there are any movies, news, or reviews I'm going to cover in the future. And with all that in mind, guys, I will see you in the next video.